Hello there, my crafty friends. I'm excited to show you some fun we're going to have today with some embossing paste. Now, in our catalog, we actually have two different kinds. We have shimmery white as well as the basic white. And today I'm also going to use our stencils. And our stencils are found here in the same page that our embossing paste is. You'll see we have some decorative masks, and there's two packages, 4 of each, with some different patterns. And also you can see these different tools, which we're going to use in just a little while, and that is used for mixing and spreading the embossing paste. Also in our mini catalog, we have another set, which one is more Christmassy, but the others can be used any time of year. But again, we have some more of those wonderful masks. So here we go. I can't wait to show you. So what we're going to do is take our stencil, and you can see that here on this silicone mat, I'll just move it up so you can for sure see the whole thing. We have our silicone mat, and I like to use it on my table. Now this is my craft table. I'm not so worried, as you can see, because at the end of the day, I take some Vim and I clean that all up and it's good as new. But you would probably want to protect your table surface so that you don't ruin your table. But it's messy, but it's fun. Very fun. So we're going to put this on top, but first we're going to put our card front. So I've cut this the size to exactly fit on the front of our card with just a little bit of a border. And so I'm going to lay that on there. Now we want to just put a piece of tape on one side. Now I am using washi tape, but you could use any kind of tape, whether it be Scotch tape, painter's tape, basically anything. And so that's how we're going to set that up. Now the next thing we're going to set up is our silicone mat. And I think I'm going to put it on this side so you can just see it a little bit better. And I should say this particular one I really like in that it's really big if you're doing a lot of mixing. This one is fantastic. I like this one for taking out my embossing paste so that I never get any colors inside my tub. And then I actually like to use this one for the actual spreading. And one thing you'll see about the tools is they're all one piece. So there's not, little bits that can get stuck in there. It just can really clean up easily, and it spreads really, really well. So let's get going. I'm going to use the regular white first of all. Oh, one more thing I should show you, that you have a foam piece in the lid. I usually keep that there because embossing paste can dry very, very fast and quickly, and so you need to make sure that it stays moist as much as you can. And when you get your tub, like I've used a lot of this one I think I've had this one for a year, and yeah, so the reality is that I just put that right on my silicone mat like that, and then we can get to work. Now, depending on how much you need, I would say if you were using one color, that might be just enough. If I was using different colors, I would use little bits of embossing paste. However, in this case, we are going to do a little bit of blending between two colors. So always better to have a little bit more embossing paste than not enough, because when you start blending the colors, then it can be a little bit tricky to get the exact color. So in this case, I'm using Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay. I always start with the lighter color first because I'm not going to add it to two separate parts of embossing paste. I'm going to add it directly to the same paste. So all you do is take your tool and you're just going to mix that in there. So just give it a good smush. And that's the beauty, is these silicone mats. They just dry or clean up so easily. I love it for so many different things. And I have a video on all the uses, but especially for adhesives. And of course, in this case, the embossing paste. So we're going to take some embossing paste, and you can decide where you want to have your two-tone. Do you want to have it going this way? Do you want it this way? Like you can totally design it whatever way you want. I think this time I'm going to go this way. So all you do is put it down and spread, and just keep going back and forth. And when you can see that all those, there's a little spot there, and when it's covered and there's no white holes, then you've got it covered. Now I can see I'm going to run out of paste already. So in that case, because we're halfway here and it doesn't look like I'm going to have enough paste, close but not quite, this is a good time to add it before we add, not shimmery white, we want basic white, before we add the next color, because then we could add a little bit more. Oops, now I got some color on there. We'll put that back in before cleaning it. I'm going to add just a little more Costa Cabana. And then you mix it again. And remember, now we're going to add the darker color. So I'm just basically trying to get it close to what it was. And then we're going to add some Bermuda Bay, one of my favorite colors. Okay. Now, you can see it gets a little bit more runny the more color you add to it, but it does not change the texture on your card at all. So there we go. Now we got it nicely mixed, and now we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to spread like this. And actually, we might have even had enough. I always like a little bit extra. Okay, so now if you wanted it really bold, you could leave it at that. I kind of like to blend the two a little bit, so then I would kind of go like this, just to have the colors blending a little more. How we look in there. So you can see there's definitely more a defined color there. So you can just work with it a little bit, get it a little bit darker. And I see I have some white spots, so I'm just going to cover that, and I think we're good. So here's the magical moment. Let's see what we made. This is what's fun. It's like heat embossing. It's like, ta-da, the magic. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, because we have a little bit left, I'm going to take another piece of paper here, card front, same size, and I'm just going to, so I don't have to clean it up in between, because I'm going to use the same colors, same stencil. And then this time, I'm just going to use, oh, where am I going to put it? I could put some here as my feature and make that part really dark, and maybe this part on the bottom. And then just kind of go out from it a bit. So I only have a little bit left. So then we're going to just go out. Oops, a little bit more than I thought. And then we're just going to go out from middle to the end. Okay. So again, there's no rules around this. You can just do it whatever way you like. And look at that. Now you have another background. So I'm going to move that over there. It is wet, and it does take time for the card to dry, but this will dry really quickly. And it is really important that you take this to the sink. And I like to actually put it in the sink and get it all wet. And then I put it on my counter, and with a sponge, I clean off. Now, because I'm doing the video, I don't want to do that right now. So I'm going to soak these in some soapy water, warm soapy water. And if you put that in there, now like here I have on the tool, I have a fair bit of paste. I'm just going to get the majority of it off like that. And then I have some whites here beside me, and what I'm going to do, not the whole bag, take some and just put some, see, I'm spreading it on there like that. And because I don't want to wash it, because I'm going to use it for another one to show you, we're just going to take this off just like that. And in this case, I'm going to soak this one. So I got another one. There we go. Now I'm going to show you another technique, because some of these, as you saw, the one I had, the holes were fairly, or the other one, but this one here, you can see there's a lot more sturdiness between it. It won't be slipping and moving very much. But when you get to a pattern like this one, you can see there's a lot more room for movement, and then it's going to get blurred. And when I say blurred, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. When I did this medallion, I was practicing, and you see how I kind of went a little too much in that one area, and then it got runny underneath the silicone, or under the mat. So you don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you how you can do that with something like this. And I would say this one is probably the one that has the most movement like that. So I'm going to put this paper on here. Again, it's a card front, just like the one we had before. I still have some, and you'll see that some of this can just scratch off. Actually, at the end of the day, I just then would again go through and clean these all, but I just gave it a real quick clean as I was practicing earlier. But we're going to put that on here. Again, put a piece of tape, put another piece of tape here. Where? Maybe right there. Okay, now this time I'm going to use embossing powder with the shimmery white. And I am also going to use Gorgeous Grape. And, oopsie, this has some color on it, so I'm just going to clean off that tool again so it does not go into my container. So again, this one is shimmery white. So we are going to put some of the shimmery white right on here like that, maybe a little bit more. Probably that would be good. Now I'm gonna close this up again, always close it up. And then I like to use this one for spreading. Just gives nice coverage. So now again, we're gonna take, and this time I'm using Gorgeous Grape. And I'm gonna put, let's see, two, it ended up being 3 drops, and we're just going to mix that up. And can you see the sparkle already? Oh my goodness. Look at that color. Wow, that looks good. Okay, so here we go with this nice, dark, luscious color. Looks like icing, doesn't it? All right, here we go. Now, the secret for this, and I'm going to angle myself so I can be leaning into this the right way, and that is, actually I should have, oh well, I'll just move this way, is very important not to go this way, because that's how you're going to get underneath all these little pieces. So when you're doing this, the important thing is to start off and go right to the edge, to the other edge. So start on one edge and go down. Again, keep going. Oops, try not to have it lift. That's why sometimes even if you start in the middle and go down, I think I got about the right amount of embossing powder this time. Wow, I'd say that's pretty perfect. Come on. Okay, so this is where now I don't want to have too much thickness, so I'm just going to go over that a little bit. Oh, look at that, how much we scraped off. You can see that this can make many, many cards. Technically, you have, I think it is 4 ounces in these little tubs, and boy, does it go a long ways. So here we have our purple. And look at that. Isn't that fabulous? It's just like a wow. Now I have a little bit left, and again, you can take your card, put it down, make sure you put the same side down, and once you put it down, you're committed. because you do not want to move that around because it will have some of the embossing paste on it. I have to now situate myself this way. Okay, oops, and that will cover up our embossing, which we don't want. So it's got to go back down that way. All right, so just to use it up, even if I make it half, and that's the thing, if you wanted it to be full, maybe this is for half of a card. So just get half of this going. I don't like to waste things, and that's the beauty, is you can make several card fronts by doing it this way, and then when you're ready, you can finish making your cards. And you can be watching me later. At another time, I'll post the cards that I've made from these ones that I've done the training ones with. So there we go. Now again, I'm going to wipe off my tool because we want to use it. Then we just clean it off. And now again, we're going to take this. I'm going to put this stencil again into the water. Take off my paper first. Okay, so see, it started moving there, but see how you could use this part on a card with no problem. Then you didn't waste it. So there you go. There is some tips that you can use, and now I'm going to show you some of the cards that I made. I'm just going to quickly stick these in the warm water so that I can clean as soon as I finish my video. But I want to show you some cards that I have made, and here we go. So this particular one, and look at the texture. Doesn't that look fuzzy? It's so cool. And here I did 3 colors. I started with the yellow and moving to Mango Melody, and I think Pumpkin Pie, and then some Cajun Craze. So I actually used 4 colors on this particular one we did in our team meeting. So that one is very cool. Then I took the one stencil, which makes it kind of look like scales. And oh my goodness, look at my hands. I've been playing. Too much fun playing. And you can see here, I have used again 3 colors and made them kind of gradually go to the darker colors. So all I did there is add a label with a butterfly, and again, a nice, beautiful, simple card. And this one I used the triangle stencils, and I had just a little bits of the colors left, and so I just put them all in different spots. And look at that card, all nice and sparkly too. And then I put a black circle with the cute little turtle friend on there with the corresponding color. And this card here we also made at our team meeting to show again how we can go gradually with the different colors. And then all you can add is something very pretty like that with the flower. And then this was an example of the one where we didn't complete the whole area using just whatever embossing paste was left. And in this case, I used this set, and I used the white ribbon that I just colored with the Flirty Flamingo blends. And there I had a beautiful card. So there you have a whole bunch of ideas of all kinds of cards and techniques that you can do with this amazing embossing paste. And you can see this one is to touch, it's dry, but I wouldn't work on it quite yet, but just let it dry. And there you'll have another beautiful card, as well as our other ones that we made. Where's the other one? This one here. So there we go. Thanks for joining me, and be sure to look at my blog at madeleinescraftroom.net, and you'll see other videos that I've done. You can get to my blog, my YouTube, my Pinterest, and my online store. And if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. Be sure to check out my classes. I offer a variety of in-person classes as well as virtual and Zoom classes and all kinds of things. So be sure to check out all of that at madeleinescraftroom.net. Thanks for now. Bye-bye.